It should not make sense. This is the core truth about the C-130J Super Hercules. It should not still be a dominant force in military aviation, yet it is. When the timeline is reviewed, the contradiction is stark. A core design from the 1950s, modernized in the 1990s, continues to roll off the assembly line. This happens in a world saturated with stealth jets, advanced drones, and ambitious, complex, next-generation transports that promise the future. But while those newer, flashier programs stall, struggle, or outright die, the Super Hercules remains the aircraft militaries across the world still buy, still trust, and still fight to keep in their active fleets. The very survival of this platform is a decisive lesson in competence, a profound humiliation for any system that attempts to replace capability with simple novelty. Raw age means nothing when an aircraft keeps proving, day after day, that it can do what others cannot. The C-130J stays alive because it continues solving operational problems that break lesser, fragile aircraft. It performs critical missions where jet transports fail completely. It operates from places that would destroy other airframes, and it delivers essential capability at a price that makes confident commanders breathe easier. Every single part of the C-130J's design has been pushed, tested, and evolved far beyond what the original creators of the Hercules could have imagined. This is not a matter of sentiment or tradition. It is survival, proven through raw, repeatable competence. Other militaries do not buy this aircraft because it is familiar. They buy it because they have repeatedly failed to create or find anything that can replace what it actually does. The confidence of US and allied forces in this machine is built on hard numbers, not promises. The first thing that silences skeptics is the proven performance. The C-130J is not a slow relic. It is a decisive leap forward. It delivers a 40% greater operational range than earlier Hercules variants, meaning US and allied forces can reach remote airstrips and contested areas without the crippling need for extra refueling stops. It boasts a 21% higher maximum speed, allowing it to move faster and reduce the time spent in mission zones, decreasing vulnerability, and asserting dominance in the critical tactical airspace. Even more telling is its short takeoff distance, which is 41% shorter than older variants. These numbers translate directly into operational advantage and an immediate humiliation for other transport systems. When troops or supplies need to reach a rough dirt strip on a mountain ridge or a temporary field after a sudden disaster, range, speed, and short field performance decide the difference between mission success and total failure.
Before we get to that, I need your help. I'm trying to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I need your help. So I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe and help me out.
Jet transports, the choice of less focused militaries, are exposed by their limitations. They demand long, clean, pristine runways. The C-130J, in stark contrast, demands almost nothing and still gets the entire job done, proving its absolute control over harsh environments. Its payload ability further asserts its dominance over its specialized rivals. The C-130J carries around 44,500 pounds. This is enough for necessary vehicles, heavy equipment, critical medevac gear, or a full contingent of paratroops. Yet, the true decisive value is not just the weight it can carry, but the proven ability to deliver those loads into places no jet aircraft can safely follow. Commanders understand that a rival nation might boast the biggest cargo jet in the world, but if that jet cannot land where the actual mission happens, it is nothing more than flying metal, exposed as a paper asset. The Super Hercules brings the sheer power of strategic lift directly into tactical spaces, and that dual, adaptable ability is a rare, unmatched advantage. This is precisely why special operations forces rely on it completely. This is why humanitarian agencies prefer it. And most importantly, this is why commanders planning the highest risk extractions still choose the C-130J, knowing its decisive presence leaves no doubt about control. Performance is only one piece of the long story. What keeps the C-130J in production for decades is its overwhelming durability, a feature that exposes the weakness of its competition. In structural testing, the aircraft delivered a shock to the aviation world. Its wing life was not the 90,000 equivalent flight hours once expected, but an astonishing 122,500 hours. This is a 40% extension from expectations that were already high. Even more impressive, the center wing box, often the weak point of older models, was decisively redesigned with materials and geometry that double its expected lifespan. When militaries consider buying an aircraft, life expectancy is a massive, defining cost driver. A dominant platform that lasts decades longer than rivals saves billions of dollars in replacement and maintenance costs, a financial logic that few can escape. The C-130J's durability is not sentimental. It is proven, overwhelming financial logic. Its structure is overbuilt in the best, most practical way, strong enough to absorb the constant punishment of unpaved runways, the strain of heavy loads, and the fatigue of constant, repetitive missions without collapsing into a financial failure. Cost is another defining force that makes the Super Hercules unbeatable, further highlighting the economic vulnerability of specialized jet transports. While jet transports may look modern and impressive, their operating costs often skyrocket. They suffer from massive fuel burn, demanding and complex maintenance requirements, and complexity that makes every single repair slower and more expensive. The C-130J decisively avoids that trap. Its turboprop engines deliver powerful performance while maintaining low fuel burn. They allow for long, sustained endurance, slow speed control that jets cannot match, and the tight maneuvering needed in high-risk zones. For many of America's partners and allies, this combination, strong lift capability with low fuel burn, is not optional. It is the fundamental difference between sustaining air operations and collapsing under trying to fund them. The aircraft is decisively cheaper to overhaul, cheaper to maintain, and simpler to train crews on. It does not demand massive, fragile infrastructure or highly specialized runways. This is a point of pride and a mechanism of identity binding. It allows nations with limited defense budgets to project strength well above their weight, a testament to American engineering philosophy. To call the aircraft cheap is to entirely understate the decisive technology integrated within it. The C-130J is not merely an old shell with new engines. Its avionics suite is modern, deeply integrated, and built for decisive control. Digital flight controls reduce the crew size required to operate the aircraft, increasing efficiency. Head-up displays give pilots immediate, critical data in the most challenging environments.
Before we get to that, I need your help. I'm trying to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I need your help. So I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe and help me out.
The mission systems are highly adaptable, allowing the aircraft to shift roles for maritime patrol, special operations, electronic warfare, firefighting, and rapid search and rescue. This modularity gives operators a critical psychological advantage. The aircraft they buy today can easily evolve with the missions of tomorrow. Newer, more complex rival aircraft often cannot claim this. They are often locked to the moment in time they were designed. The C-130J, by contrast, flows forward, constantly modernizing while maintaining its core competence. The global use of the platform adds another layer of overwhelming validation. 23 nations, comprising 28 operators, actively fly the C-130J. This level of adoption is not inertia. It is a shared network of support. This shared ecosystem of spare parts, training programs, and maintenance experience lowers costs and reduces supply chain risk for everyone. When a platform is this widely adopted, the risk of supply chain failure drops to near zero, a point of weakness and chaos often exploited in adversary systems. Nations prefer buying something that is decisively battle-proven because it eliminates uncertainty and replaces doubt with confidence. The C-130J is exactly this. tested in combat, in humanitarian crises, in massive disasters, and in the constant demands of day-to-day missions. It has moved troops through active combat zones, delivered essential supplies after devastating earthquakes, evacuated the wounded from burning, dangerous runways, and dropped massive fire-retardant loads across blazing forests. Every operator that uses it feeds back data, and that data fuels continuous improvements. It is a living design, constantly being strengthened, not a static, failing relic. There is a subtle but powerful emotional driver behind the C-130J's decisive survival: certainty. US and allied militaries trust what consistently works. When a commander plans a high-stakes mission into an unstable, hostile region, the last thing anyone wants is a fragile, untested aircraft that demands perfect, controlled conditions. The C-130J gives commanders psychological certainty. It acts as an insurance policy against the unpredictable chaos of the world. That emotional reliability is critical, not because feelings override facts, but because confidence is built from the proven evidence of thousands of successful missions delivered across multiple decades. This entire narrative creates the final, undeniable truth. The C-130J remains in production because no so-called modern replacement offers a more cost-effective or more versatile solution to the constant demands of global power projection. New jet transports may be faster, but they require better runways and cost more to operate, leaving them exposed and ineffective in real crisis zones. Heavier aircraft may carry slightly more cargo, but they lose the critical flexibility and short-field capability that the C-130J commands. Lighter transports may be cheaper, but they lack the decisive capability to lift the necessary loads. The C-130J decisively hits the center point of the operational triangle: payload, low cost, and total flexibility. That crucial sweet spot is much harder to defeat than rivals realize. The aircraft endures because no one has built anything that does its job better across every demanding mission type. The core story of the C-130J Super Hercules is one of decisive action against chaos. It survives for a single powerful reason that overrides every other argument: it simply works. It works today, it is guaranteed to work tomorrow, and it keeps evolving, so it will decisively work for decades to come. US and allied militaries do not keep aircraft alive out of mere nostalgia. They keep them alive when they deliver value, resilience, and proven dominance that newer, more expensive programs consistently fail to match. The C-130J is the ultimate proof that in military aviation, the most modern and decisive aircraft is not always the newest. It is the one that keeps proving its worth under real-world pressure, mission after mission, year after year, leaving adversaries with nothing but the humiliating exposure of their own system's weakness. The Super Hercules maintains its operational relevance in every mission because it completely breaks the usual rule that most aircraft follow: one airframe for one specialized job. The C-130J ignores that false specialization. It proves decisively that one single platform can rapidly carry troops into rough valleys at dawn, use precision fire on hostile targets at night, refuel necessary helicopters in a raging storm, and move special operations teams across borders without ever being seen. This contradiction, a heavy transport that can transform into a heavily armed gunship, a tactical fuel tanker, or a covert infiltration machine, is exactly why the aircraft is a key pillar of US and allied dominance. Adversaries expect trade-offs, limitations, and vulnerabilities, but the Super Hercules offers none of them. Its continued, decisive value comes from a simple, overwhelming truth. Every single job it performs is built on the same strong, adaptable, and constantly improved foundation. The basic airframe is the stable, unbreakable core. It was engineered from the start to be loaded, unloaded, refueled, and reshaped over and over again without ever failing. This gives operators a quiet, powerful confidence. It gives engineers the ability to decisively improve it. and it gives commanders a single reliable tool they can confidently use for almost any sudden crisis or protracted conflict. This core strength creates a powerful emotional bond for the crews who operate it, because they know that when everything else goes wrong, when a runway is destroyed, when a team is trapped, when a mission changes instantly without warning, the C-130J can handle the pressure. It never asks for perfection from the environment. It only asks for a purpose. The aircraft's foundational transport abilities are the base of this powerful identity. The large cargo area, the rear ramp, the incredibly short takeoff distance, and the decisive ability to land on rough dirt or crushed stone. These features solve real, immediate problems that could cost lives, supplies, and mission success if they were ignored. Allied troops reach remote, hostile areas faster and safer. Humanitarian aid arrives even when roads and ports are completely blocked or destroyed. Essential equipment that normally needs a long, controlled runway can be delivered right into tight, dangerous terrain. Every time it performs one of these missions, the aircraft forces enemy planners to confront a simple, terrifying question. What happens if the US has a machine that can do this, and we do not? That sense of loss aversion defines adversary thinking and guarantees their strategic weakness. The transition to the AC-130 gunship transformation creates a dynamic tension because it pushes far past what a simple transport aircraft is supposed to do, revealing the platform's ultimate adaptability. When the AC-130 variant flies low at night with advanced sensors mapping the ground, it becomes an unstoppable, completely different machine. Its precision weapons, its thermal cameras, and its advanced fire control systems turn the sturdy airframe into a constant, watchful protector. Ground forces trust it completely because it sees threats they cannot detect. It buys them critical time. It stops surprise attacks decisively before they can even begin. The emotional weight here is clear. An aircraft built for simple cargo has transformed into an aerial guardian, protecting those who operate in the deepest darkness. This transformation is real and proven, and it shows that the platform decisively adapts to the needs of the US forces on the ground, not the other way around, exposing the rigidity of adversary systems. The fuel tanker role adds another critical dimension of urgency and control. Refueling helicopters and tilt-rotor aircraft in midair solves a fundamental strategic weakness: not having enough flight range. Without aerial refueling, special operations teams would be forced to move slower and stay cripplingly close to safe zones. With the Super Hercules acting as a tactical tanker, US and allied missions can project power further, teams can reach their high-value targets faster, and aircraft that usually rely on vulnerable forward bases can stay safely far from danger. This creates a powerful identity alignment for the audience, who admire decisive toughness and absolute self-reliance. The C-130J shows what it means to overcome physical limits, not by brute strength, but by intelligent, simple engineering and constant, effective upgrades. This is an ongoing, intermittent reward of successful operations. The Special Operations variant, the C-130J SOF, combines all these decisive strengths into a single, dominant package. It has sophisticated defensive systems to survive the most hostile environments, navigation tools that cut through fog and utter darkness, and specialized gear for rapid infiltration, exfiltration, and precise resupply. This version is purpose-built for high-stakes missions where one single mistake can ruin the entire operation, where the margin for error is razor-thin. A constant near-miss scenario. Its crews depend on its proven ability to slip in quietly and escape just as fast. The emotional story is undeniable. This aircraft is trusted completely when trust is hardest to find, and there is absolutely no room for failure. That deep trust is earned through decades of decisive updates, continuously improved flight controls, far better sensors, and rigorously reinforced structures. For this platform, modernization is not just an option. It is the only reason the aircraft remains a decisively useful and dominant force. This is the constant escalation and novelty that ensures strategic superiority. The platform's credibility is a weapon in itself. Defense experts repeatedly stress that the airframe's inherent modularity is the single greatest reason it stays active in so many different, complex mission types. Former commanders consistently point to its proven reliability under the most intense pressure. Engineers rightly highlight its simple, effective path for upgrades, a core feature that allows it to avoid the humiliation of becoming obsolete without needing a complete new and risky design. Across all Allied militaries, the agreement is clear and decisive. The Super Hercules stays in decisive service because it keeps solving immediate problems that newer, more specialized aircraft still struggle to meet. This shared, global trust confirms that the C-130J is not just a piece of military machinery, but a rare strategic constant in an unstable world, leaving no doubt about U.S. control. The urgency shapes the entire narrative because the missions the Super Hercules supports never, ever slow down. Natural disasters, sudden conflicts, urgent evacuations, and covert operations start without warning. Time limits define these missions. Only minutes to land before a raging storm arrives. Only seconds to correctly fix a crucial supply drop zone. Only one narrow chance to safely refuel a helicopter running critically low. The C-130J's entire operational story is tied to these ticking clocks, where failure means disaster. Every single improvement and redesign is a direct, decisive response to the inescapable truth that missions keep getting harder and time keeps shrinking, forcing rivals into a chaos of scarcity and overload, while the C-130J provides decisive U.S. action. The satisfaction for the audience comes from recognizing the simple, undeniable truth behind the aircraft's continued status. It is not just a transport that happened to learn new tricks. It is a platform that was decisively engineered from the very start to change its role without ever losing its structural strength. Many adversary aircraft become obsolete and fail because their original design could not handle the unpredictable demands of future warfare. The Super Hercules is fundamentally different because flexibility was part of its original DNA. When the world changed its rules and its threats, the aircraft did not have to be completely rebuilt. It only needed to be refined. That is the lasting difference. That is why it remains the reliable, dominant backbone for the US and Allied forces. It is not kept around because it is old, but because it remains decisively useful in ways that new, untested platforms still struggle, and often fail, to match. In the end, the Super Hercules maintains its overwhelming relevance not through mere memory, sentiment, or myth, but through its continuous proven performance. Its multi-mission flexibility allows it to move decisively from a massive transport to a gunship, to a fuel tanker, to a special operations platform without any interruption in capability. Its reliability has saved countless lives in dangerous places that never make the evening news. And its constant innovation ensures that it stays ahead of rising threats rather than chasing them, confirming its strategic control. The deeper you look into the details, the clearer the undeniable truth becomes. This aircraft decisively endures because it solves real, immediate, and high-stakes problems better than anything ever built to replace it. And that powerful, undeniable fact, far more than legacy or legend, is what keeps the C-130J Super Hercules essential across all modern military operations, leaving absolutely no doubt about US and Allied dominance in the most difficult and decisive mission spaces. Adversaries are constantly and humiliatingly exposed to the weakness of their own specialized, fragile systems when compared to the enduring, adaptable strength of the C-130J, a machine that consistently delivers decisive control, certainty, and overwhelming competence in the face of chaos. This is the simple reality of superior competence decisively defeating mere complexity. What you've seen is only the beginning. America's power is just getting started. On your screen is the next video. Click the video, it opens right away, and you'll watch US jets and technology strike even harder.